We do have with us T-Bone, Jason McMillan, who we have to break in this afternoon, Jochen and Neal, Old Home Week. And we're talking about let's start off with the benefits of CECAT. Let's just go really broad, and then we'll narrow it down. Who wants to start? Neal?
Well, maybe
let's go with the CEO.
I start with CECAT.
Yes.
I mean, he's biased.
Well,
I'm biased. Of course I'm biased.
I was going to go in this direction, but yeah, let's go with you because you're the master.
No, I think when we founded CECAT, actually, we wanted to make life easier for the dentist,
right.
And we want to make a treatment better for the patient. And actually, it's all about efficiency and providing better care. So, in the end, when we finally came to CECAT Function, I'm an engineer. And when I look at the dentist, it's funny because it's the only profession I know that's still working with carbon paper. So what's going on there? They produce a nice restoration and then they grind it down. It's like, I buy a new car and it doesn't fit my garage. I take a hammer and smash off the mirror. Who would do this? So I thought, why not do it like we do it everywhere in the industry and go digital? Why not grind it in digitally? And so this is how we finally came to CECAT Function.
You're not telling me that you're going to take away the blue carbon paper. One of my favorite parts about going to the dentist, grinding on that paper.
Your dentist does that for you? I just leave mine high and just make it easy. That's how we lead to root canals.
Yeah.
Before we get going, you guys remember in the 90s, there used to be at late night, there used to be these TV commercials where the guys would spray the
stuff
to make their hair a little bit thicker. I think that's what Neal's done to get his mohawk in.
That's right. It's actually
it worked.
It's sprayed in.
Was that a spray-on mohawk?
Spray-on mohawk.
I love it.
What that has to do with CECAT, I have no idea, but leave it to T-Bone to take us in that place.
It has to do a lot with CECAT. He's one of our early users, and of course, he got the benefits. So,
I'd like to mention something on CECAT.
Yes.
I think having worked with them for 6 years, what I've seen over years is every time Jochen comes in to the States, he listens to us, right? And we see the implementation of that feedback. And that's what as a dentist, that's what you look for in a company, is that maybe they can't give it as fast as we want it, but they're actually listening and actually giving this, and they're actually giving what I call line extensions to our practice. And what was just implantology in the beginning is now airway, it's now function, it's now so many different things, and we keep adding extensions to our practice. And that's how we create growth, is through extensions.
And you have to keep in mind, everything will still works with the very first Galileos installed.
Yeah, my compact unit still worked with everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's important, though, because Jochen and I were talking, we're really just scratching the surface of what this technology is going to be able to do for us. And for me, I think it's as important or as groundbreaking as CEREC was 30 years ago, because this is what we are going to build the rest of the digital workflow from. This is what is going to allow us to move past analog dentistry into digital dentistry, an all digital platform. And that's powerful. It's a powerful tool for educating our patients.
He just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah? Yeah. I like that.
Do that.
Well, we're talking about going from analog to 2D to 3D. Jochen, do you think there will be a day of 4D? Because how crazy would that be?
Oh, we're already at 4D. We are at 4D.
I'm 43, actually.
No, I think
it's going downhill quick.
Once we have the anatomy of the patient in 3D with the high accuracy on the tooth surface with the Omnicam, now we get the movement of the patient in 3D. So that is 4D. We see the real patient movement. We see the patient grind in digitally. We see what's going on in 4D.
Yeah. Okay, well then I have to ask, Neal, would there ever be a 5D? I just had to because
5D is when this gentleman figures out how to make a robot so we don't have to do the dentistry, right? So here's the reality.
Yeah.
I've watched CECAT take dentistry from 0 to 60 in a matter of a very short amount of time, and it's because of this man right here. He knows dentistry more than a lot of dentists that I know, friends of mine, even myself. And what he brings to the table is unthinkable by the normal person, by the normal dentist. He thinks outside the box. But his role in dentistry in the digital movement is that he's the person between all of these dentists who are passionate about digital dentistry and the engineers back in Germany. He's the guy in the middle that goes back and forth and orchestrates the movement that we're on.
Wow.
It's a movement in dentistry, and it's going to change how schools teach dentistry. It's going to change how we do dentistry, and it's going to affect the lives of thousands upon thousands of patients that we see over the course of just 1 year.
Yeah, but it's not me. It's a team, and it's our customers. It's actually these guys I'm talking to. It's like when they challenge me, I just watch what they are doing, and I think, well, and then they challenge me to just make it better. And then I have to go to my engineers and tell them what to do. And only if they understand our customers and they develop a way to implement it, then we can provide the products. So it's not about me, it's about the team. It's a team effort of our customers, of the dentists, actually even the patient, and then the engineers to implement it. And I see myself more in the role of a translator. I talk to you guys, I talk to my engineers, and I tell them what these guys have said. Because normally those people speak different languages. An engineer talks math, and you talk medical. Yeah. And they need to get connected. They need to understand each other.
That's one thing I'm always amazed with you guys. There's a great familiarity and compassion and an alliance on so many levels. You guys really are teammates. It's not that it should be competitors, but I don't hear that or sense that at all. It's the teamwork.
We find inspiration in each other.
Well, we want to help the patient, right?
Sure.
And at the end of the day, for me on a personal level, what it's really about is how do I create the practice that I want?
Right.
How do I create the family life that I want? And what I'm seeing in my practice, and probably everybody's seeing in their practices, that there's increasing pressures from insurance, from large group practices, increasing pressures, and we have to move what I call to the right side, where we move to advanced dentistry, emotional dentistry, and technology really is the gateway into that. It allows us to do things we weren't possible to do before, but more importantly, allows us to communicate with our patients. Because however good it is that we can do fancy things, we've got to get our patients to believe it and want it and see the value in it. And to me, that's the biggest thing of technology, is to be able to visually show, because we buy visually, we make decisions visually. So when we have something that's visual to show our patients, it really helps them move forward.
No, and I would just mirror that. If nothing else, this is an amazing tool for us to be able to educate our patients. It's always this very abstract conversation that you have with patients trying to explain things to them. And for me in my practice, I don't want you to believe what I'm telling you. I want you to see it for yourself. And this technology allows our patients to see what's happening. And we can explain it to them and have a very high-level conversation with our patients, but in language that they can understand, because it's visual. And I think that's very powerful for people to be able to see what's going on and appreciate the problems that they're having.
It helped me actually to understand dentistry. So what it does is it levels the partners. So when I see the image and I can visualize it, then I can talk on a totally different level. And that's what's happening to the patients as well. They see what you're talking about and they understand, and then it's easy.
Well, let's talk about the products, because right now the audience has no clue what we're talking about.
Okay.
We're just so excited about it. There's two things
that
this company is bringing to the table, one of which is called SiCAT Function. The other one is called SiCAT Air. And what those two products do is they answer a huge unknown field in dentistry. And they've taken the subjectivity out of those two topics, which is the patient's functional movement patterns, and the subjectivity out of treating the patient's airway, and brought objectivity to it, which means we can actually statistically see and have data, tangible data, so we know how to treat patients. And we've done it in a digital workflow where we don't have to take analog impressions because we have CEREC. We don't have to discuss,
What are you doing with function?
In theory, we can actually show patients what their needs are, and the software that Jochen has put together for us allows us to actually see patients' jaw movement, to help understand and enlighten us as to why they're having problems. and then design restorations that understand that jaw movement so that when a patient, although they're biting on carbon paper, it looks good, and then they go home and all of a sudden it doesn't feel right.
Right.
We get rid of all of that.
Right.
It fits, and it fits like a glove, and
Right.
it continues to work for the patient indefinitely for the life of that restoration. And then on the sleep apnea side, instead of just hoping that the sleep apnea device works, the software actually confirms how big we can open up the airway in a comfortable position that's safe for the joint and monitor and titrate that patient to ideal. That nobody else in the industry can do that. There's a lot of companies that are bringing imaging to the table and discussing what can be done. There's only one company that's doing that, plus providing the solution and helping obtain the objectives for the patient.
And this is a big problem, actually. If you look at what's happening across the country, sleep apnea is a very serious issue. We're dealing with childhood obesity and children with sleep apnea problems. Sleep apnea is one of the primary things that lead to sudden cardiac death. Not something to take lightly.
No.
And
Dying is not light?
dying's not light, T-Bone. It's not a good thing. You don't wake up from that. So it really gives us as general dentists, we're kind of on the front line of that disease process. We're going to see our patients more than they see their general practitioners.
True.
We have an opportunity to start a conversation with our patients because now we can see what's happening. We can see what's going on. And that helps to direct the conversation that you have with your patients. Have those meaningful conversations so that, maybe we can prevent some people from going down that road and treating even pre-apneic patients.
T-Bone, wake up.
I'm awake.
Sorry.
He's got sleep apnea.
See, that's what I like about you guys. We really do blend humor.
Where are we at?
And
What day
science.
is it? So I have a question.
It could
if you guys
be
don't
tomorrow.
Mind. So people like us, we get it, okay? I mean, so we understand. We've been down this road. What would you say to the average clinician who maybe has more than average clinician who has cone beam, CEREC, who's not into function, who's not into air? What's in it for their practice and what's in it for them? I mean, what would you tell them is the advantage of this technology for them and for their practice and their patients?
Well, back to the point that I was making before, it allows us to move beyond being just a tooth doctor. My oldest daughter, at one point, we were having a conversation, and she said, something that I knew wasn't true, and I said, look, kid, I've got 30 years on you, and who's the doctor here? And she looked at me and said, yeah, but Dad, you're just a tooth doctor. So
Just a dentist.
just a dentist. You're just a tooth doctor. But so the reality is this technology takes us from being just an average tooth doctor, in my daughter's words, and puts us in a situation where we are frontline clinicians addressing serious health problems for our patients. And again, back to the educational part, being able to articulate to patients visually what's happening in their mouth, it's not to be cliche, but it's priceless. It's priceless because you don't have to believe what I'm telling you.
Right.
I can show it to you on the screen.
Right.
And that's powerful. So I think for the general clinician, what it's done for me, I would say I fall into that category. But what it's done for me is to help me look at things that I wasn't looking at before because I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Now that I can see it, now I'm asking the right questions. I'm asking my patients, well, do you feel rested? Do you have issues with sleeping? What's going on? And some people, they won't tell you about that. It's not on their health history. They haven't divulged any of that information. But when you have that in front of you and you can start to have those conversations, I think we actually have an opportunity to make some major changes in our patients' lives. Not that we don't already, but at another level.
Cool. I think we have pretty much covered our topic for today, guys. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and for stopping by. Thanks for being the new kid on the block.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to
Go Mohawks.
Come on, just me.
We're going to take a short break as we bring our sanity back around live from Vegas at the Venetian with more CEREC 30 after this.